Is this thing on?
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Okay.
Welcome back, guitar.
Yeah, he feels welcome.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Coffee and Carving Show, episode number 83.
That's right. You got it right. It's episode 83. And today we're going to bring you the best in wood carving, the best that wood carving has to offer.
Or a lot of nonsense.
Probably that.
Yeah, a little more of that.
A lot more of that.
So.
But somebody said something in the comments recently you were just talking about. What did they say? Like next time?
Oh, yeah. If you want to try and stay on topic of wood carving or something, I forget what it was exactly. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not really. No, we're good to get off topic.
Yeah.
Wood carving. I think we advertise wood carving and nonsense. So,
right.
I'm the wood carving. You're the nonsense.
I think I have the wrong show. I like that. He's got jokes today, baby.
Good jokes today.
Oh. Well then, dog, what you been up to, brother?
Well, I was going to tell you first a story, though. Like, I've been recovering from my illness, which lasted up till right now. This is the tail end of it. It's a full week. I probably haven't been so sick in a decade, but I think we're on the other side of it. So,
good.
Hooray.
That's good to hear.
But
yeah, it's so fun.
I haven't been doing too much other than trying to keep my work ahead of my work and some carving and stuff. But anyway, the point was, since I don't feel like going playing pickleball and that, we've been doing a lot more family drives. So we went for a big country drive yesterday afternoon, the old Sunday afternoon drive. And I stopped to get gas at this little gas station there. And I saw they put up a little tire inflating station, like to pump up your tires. Sophie looked over at the thing and says, they want $1. It's $1 now to pump up your tires. She goes, can you imagine that? Why would they do that? And I said, honey, that's just inflation.
Oh boy. I'm so glad that I haven't figured out how to turn the applause on, because that does not deserve an applause at all.
I screwed it up because I used the word inflation before I got to inflation.
But you know what? I appreciate that you spent the time to weave that into your little story.
I tried so hard.
And I enjoyed that, and I appreciated your efforts there. So very, very good. Very good.
And also, before we get really going on what we've been up to, I have to say, we left you hanging last week. The big cliffhanger of what was that little tool in my hand about that absolutely nobody cared, nobody asked, nobody guessed. But I'm going to tell you, I'm here to tell you, this little tool I rigged up, and this is my little, did you guess? You know what it is anyway.
Yeah.
This is my little spool carving holder.
Mm-hmm.
Carving spools. So
right.
That's what I've been up to, is carving spools. I take an old wood spool and I just put her in there tight, and that gives me something to hang on to
when you're carving it. Ah, I didn't know what that was.
No,
I hadn't seen that.
So I've been on a spool carving kick, and it's good and it's bad. It has a lot of advantages, a couple of disadvantages where I still take it off and hold it in my hand.
Right.
Because I think my biggest mistake was my washers maybe a hair too big.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually touched my knife on the washers a couple times, and that's not good. That sharp edge sound.
Yeah. Oh, no.
That's not good. So my washers are too big, but it's a great idea. And that will be my next video. But let me just show you a few, because I teased this last week and then I went and did a different video, which we'll get to in a minute. But I've been carving these little
Right where your face is. Over to the. Yep, there you go. There you go. Love that Santa. Both of those are awesome.
Well, I got to. Hey, hang on.
Good
There's
for you.
more.
No. Can you bring that Santa back up and show us up close what it looks like? Because that thing looks freaking awesome.
Probably better from a distance.
No, it looks awesome. I love the fact that it has all this subtle detail. But when you actually get up close to it, it's something that people can attain. Maybe
Right.
not as detailed as when you get close to it. Yeah, that is so good. Yeah,
I got a whole bunch here.
that is so good. Look at he's great.
It's so fun.
Good for you. Those are great.
Oh, I got more. We won't.
Yeah, nice.
And then this was the I don't know what that is. Just kind of a.
That one's honestly, I don't know what it is. I've seen that one before, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I kind of like it, but I wish it was a little bit thicker. I could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is what I'm working on right now is a little mushroom. I'm gonna put maybe I'm gonna put a door, and I'm gonna do the bottom is gonna be green grass, and then the top is gonna be blue sky, with a little red with polka dot mushroom cap.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what that tool was for all those that were just on the edge of their seat, just waiting. They couldn't wait till this week's podcast. But anyway, that aside, I have one more story about the spools, because it just so happened, I think I showed you last week that I had started carving spools.
Yeah.
And it just so happened on our little country drive, not this weekend, but the weekend before, we stopped in at this little antique shop. And I found this, which is
right.
All brand new spools. 2 boxes of brand new, unused spools. Now, you say, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is they haven't been made since I was born. The early 70s is when they switched to plastic spools. So that's a cool find. So I'm going to be on the hunt even more because I've fallen in love with carving spools. So anyway.
Doug, did that art show in Rochester, did that inspire that for you?
It didn't inspire that, but it brought the idea back. So back in the day, I'm going to screw up his name. What was his name? Did I write it down? No. Oh, it'll come to me. But there's a fellow that went on International Association of Wood Carvers, Dale Carver Dale, anyway, on Instagram, and one of those Dale Kirkpatrick.
Okay.
He's a master spool carver, and he did a little presentation, and I was like smitten. So I've been keeping my eye out, trying to find spools wherever I can, and so he got me onto all this was his idea or inspiration. And then we saw one guy at the art show who did really simple little angels, really fun little angels, and he was selling them, and he was mad that he sold them all in a couple hours. Remember? And so anyway, that brought it back to me. I'm like, I got to do that. So I got a whole list of strange things to carve, but I may get hung up on this for a little while longer. But,
yeah, awesome.
But yeah, so there's that. And then that was going to be my next video. But then another video crept in. I was willing.
I like that one. Which I said I'm glad for, because I liked that carving when you showed it to me a while back, and you had no plans of posting that.
No, but the one that you liked, I absolutely hated. So I made this little whittle, and I liked the idea, but I hated what I had carved, and I said, how could I improve it? So anyway, people have already probably seen it, but I made the spooky little ghost, spooky.
Those are awesome. I really like the way those turned out. That's fun.
So that's my latest video.
I like the little hill that you put him on. That's really perfect. The grassy knoll.
Yeah. And depending what's behind it, that little stand isn't always seen from wherever you look, so they kind of do look like they're floating at the right angle. You know what I mean? So
Perfect.
anyway, so that was this week's video.
I like that you painted that part black too, so it kind of sits back.
Yeah, and I try. You can't see, but I undercut up underneath of it too, and did that black, so it
Nice.
actually is just a sheet.
Yeah,
Without
that's
any,
really slick.
so
Really
anyway,
slick.
it's simple enough, but just
Exactly.
coming up with the right way to hold the arms was kind of a nuisance, and like
Right.
that works for me anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
other than that, I moved my shop around again and sharpened all my tools, and anyway, for being sick, I guess I did a bit.
Yeah.
How are the daddy long legs in your neck of the woods?
I haven't been talking to him a lot. Why?
No, I have a constant battle with cobwebs and daddy long legs in the basement here. They're everywhere.
Oh, I thought you were asking how they were doing.
No. Do you have an issue with them at all?
Oh, yeah, I think we have a good amount. I mean, it seems like we dust and then give it a month or two and they're back.
Oh, I'm talking weeks. Like all my carvings, like I'm dusting. There's spider webs in between them all the time, and all the rafters and around the heat pipes and stuff. So I googled how to get rid of daddy long legs. Guess what the number one answer is?
No idea.
Vacuum.
It's not a bad thought though. I mean, you suck them up in that thing and they're trapped.
Yeah, well, that's what I've always been doing. I'm like, oh, is that it? There's nothing else?
You thought there was going to be a magical sprinkle dust that you could put out around your outside.
That's what I was hoping for, but no, that wasn't to be. But
dust.
I guess they do like they do like a little damper area, so that's why I have them down in the basement. So
yeah, get that dehumidifier going. Like, well, the winter's going to help you with that too. So
yeah, for sure. And one more tangent on the daddy long legs they're not spiders.
Oh no?
No, they are arachnids.
Okay.
Also, they are called harvestmen.
Huh.
I don't know what the difference is, but they're spiders to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
But every time I looked it up, they're like, "Did you know that daddy long legs are not spiders?"
Well, they don't seem. It's not that surprising because they're really odd looking compared to most spiders.
Right, but I think the spider web thing kind of throws off. They got a good thing going to confuse people.
They do. They're very smart. They're very deceiving. Those
with the spider webs and all.
Yeah, but no, I don't really have. I have friends, Doug, so I don't really talk to the spider webs.
Okay. Well, I spent a lot of time by myself down here, so.
Well, you asked how they were doing. I just don't. Yeah. I don't talk to them like you do. So that's cool, man. What else you been up to?
Well, that's a lot of me talking. What have you been up to?
I totally forgot. I made a little. I was thinking about going through some of the things that I had done this week because I never remember. Every week, you ask me what I did, and I know it's going to come, and I still, I just, I don't remember what I'm going to do, what I did rather. And I remembered I did this pumpkin head.
Yes, you did.
And I remember, so you actually inspired this. You said, why don't we do something in a real pumpkin? And I thought about it, and I got a pumpkin from my neighbor, just happenstance after that conversation. And I went to carve something in it, and I thought, I don't want to do that. So I thought, I'll do it in cottonwood bark. I'll carve a pumpkin in the bark. And I thought, well, what if I just whittled it? What if I just made a cottonwood bark whittled pumpkin head? And it was real interesting. I'll tell you, I did not always know what was going on during that project, that whittle carving. I was flying by the seat of my pants. And I'm happy with the way it turned out, but I was scared to death it wasn't going to turn out about halfway through that video.
So, and I called you. And what did I say?
What did you say? I don't remember.
I said, I watched your video and I got really worried for you about halfway through, and then you pulled it off.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not like you. I don't have different iterations of these things going. And so I I don't have time. I'm making, I'm making the carvings. I'm selling the carvings. I'm trying to do all kinds of, run the school. I'm trying to do commission stuff. And
Well, I was just, when you're getting into the detail and stuff, cottonwood bark is not the easiest for tiny whittling, eh?
and then on top of it, cottonwood bark is not, I mean, look, I just grabbed the thing and it busted off. It's so brittle.
Yeah.
And it's not the best for whittling. So in fact, that's why I said in the video, better yet, you use other, butternut, basswood, something else, because it's not ideal for that application. So, let's see. I accidentally butt dialed somebody. That's not good. So,
but you're gonna give me that though, eh?
What's that?
I'm gonna thank you in advance for giving that to me. Appreciate
it. Yeah. So you can have it. It was a small part of the week. I said it was a big part of the week, but the thing I've been working on the last a couple things on and off has been back to the deer head, and I had to call the client and I told him, things have picked up with the book and things have picked up with art shows. You have these deadlines that pile up and you just can't get to it, and things piling on. And so he was very understanding, and we pushed the project to this month. And I called him yesterday because I'd kind of forgotten about some of the details and why we were doing certain things that we were doing, just to try to flesh it through. And very happy with his idea for it, which is pretty rare and fun when somebody comes up with an idea that you really love, mm-hmm. and that pays homage to what you already like to do and what you're already good at doing. So I'm looking forward to that. So we did basically the last couple of days we've been doing the glue up. So getting the big wood sections planed, sanded, glued, and then all kind of set up for their initial rough-in, which will happen tomorrow.
So walk us through that though. Can you tell us what it's made of?
Totally. Yeah. So what it looks like is it's kind of three main sections. Not including the antlers. There's the body, so the chest is cut off. So
this is going to be a full wall mount. Just for people that don't know, it's going to be a full wall mount deer head.
It's not a wall mount, but it's going to look like a wall mount because it's the deer is going to look like it's coming out of a branch. Okay, so imagine the bark fading into the tree and then full bark in the background, and that transitions into the deer. So the bark kind of verges onto the fur of the neck.
Oh, okay.
Right. So imagine, Europe. Is it a European mount? I can't remember, but the fur mount from the chest up is going to be one section to the neck, right? And then the neck is a separate section, and the neck is solid. The chest is a box, so there's a hollow part in the middle to lighten it up a little, since it's the thickest section of the deer. And then from there is another block, a solid block, not a glue up, for the head. It's 7 inches wide by like 10 inches tall. So we had a piece of wood that was wide enough, all in basswood.
Okay.
And the ears will be separate as well. The ears will be glued on, and the antlers will also be separate. And in fact, the antlers will probably be 5 or 6 different pieces of wood each.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that, about how easy it is following the grain, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, unless I found a piece of bowed wood that came around like this with the grain running along it, it would make way more sense just to do a glue up of different pieces of wood. So it's all straight grain, runs the length of the antler.
So let me ask you this: in your glue up in that, is there going to be? I'm trying to picture it as it goes. You're gluing all vertical board.
Yep. End grain to. Yep. So it's yep, the grain's all parallel.
So there will be end grain showing along the neck.
The top and bottom will be end grain.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that won't be an issue for carving smoothly.
Oh, it's basswood. Yeah. You know how basswood is.
Yep. Is it going to be painted, or is it?
Yeah, it will be oil painted.
Yep. Oh, okay. No, it changes everything. Yep. That's all.
Not as worried about the color.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about, how the end grain would be.
Right.
In a glue up board fashion on a neck, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's been a project. I've been working on a planter there's an organization, I can't remember the name of it, but it's this anti-sex trafficking organization that's out. And it's in the Michigan area, but they're trying to create products to sell. And so I'm making a lotus planter. It's a test piece for some larger ones. We're going to do like a run of a few of them. I'm not sure if it's 15 or 20 yet, but so original planter. So it's a big project. And so I started the first one, and maybe I can show it to you next week, but it's all wrapped up right now in paper towel because it's water-based clay. It's just
Oh, it's clay. I wasn't even thinking clay. Okay.
clay. Yep, all clay. So, yep.
Is that something that you could do once and then make a form?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, yep. That's what they'll do. They'll make a mold and then they'll
Oh,
reproduce. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yep, yep. So I did that, and honestly, I felt like, and maybe you can relate to this if you've played with clay. I know you've played with clay some, but when it's wet as a carver, it is a total nightmare. You hate carving it because it moves way too easily. It's way too easy to damage or mess up or put a dent, push your tool right through the pedals. I mean, it's nothing like wood at all. And so that was the hardest part of starting the thing out. But once it got leather hard, it was awesome. It was easy to work with. It was perfect, like the perfect cottonwood bark hardness, where it's carvable. You can you can get all the details. You can scratch in. It's really like carving wood. So
You're the first person I've ever seen that actually lets it get to that consistency and actually carves it like carving wood.
right,
Instead of forming it, you actually do a lot of carving,
yeah.
which is cool, which is right up our alley, right?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's the only way I enjoy making anything out of clay, and it's actually I don't know what I'm doing with this because I've never made um I don't make a lot of utilitarian things, and this is kind of a new design, right? It's like the maiden voyage for this project, but it's starting to look kind of cute. I like it. I like where it's headed a lot, so I think they'll be happy with it. And so that's been a big thing this past. I've been putzing around in the morning, so I'll wake up and I'll spend an hour or two in the morning on it, and so that's going to get delivered here shortly. And I made two videos for the online school, the fundamentals of wood carving. For those of you who are already members, it's like where a lot of my instructional content goes, where all my time goes to making instructional content, or most of it. And I put two new videos up there. I put one on detailing the male versus female face based on a graphic that I made for my book. And I thought, man, I've spent all this time writing this all out, creating these graphics, illustrations. Why don't I just use those to help people understand some of the main differences between male and female faces? And so that was one video. And we worked on a hair video, which was really just, I call it the Vice method. It's just all about how groupings of hair meet together, how they interact with one another, and the shapes that they form together. And so that was really fun. And I'm actually kind of proud of that. I'm definitely proud of that, how that came out. And it was Vice method came about through my video guy, who was like, we need something more concrete. Like, what are the shapes that you look for when you carve hair? And I thought, I've never thought about it that way, but I am always looking for certain types of shapes. So why don't I just write those down? What do those shapes look like? Well, when hair intersects, two sections of hair overlap across one another, they form a V. And that's a V grouping or a V shape. When one hair grouping separates, it forms like an upside down V or like an A, right?
Yep.
You have S shapes where there's a gap in two strands of curly hair, right? And that creates an S gap, or a positive S shape where you can see just the hair strand itself moves in an S form. You've got E or O shapes, which are just hairs that tend to curl in on one another. I have some of those right here, curling around, mixed in with that S shape. So just like what to look out for when you're carving hair, and to create the look or illusion of depth in hair where there necessarily isn't.
I'll have to check that out. I didn't. Wasn't aware you put that up. But
Yep.
here's a
So
hair question for you that I
yeah,
learned.
yeah.
Here's something else. I'm butting in, but I will come back. You can finish your
Mhm.
story. But also last week, I went to my box of carvings and I started recarving some earlier carving of cottonwood and
Mm.
fixing them up and getting the noses set deeper into the faces. The noses on the early ones, the noses were all on top of the face. They weren't in the face,
Mhm.
the eyes. But I was looking, and I think this is your little trick too, is to pull out the mirror and look
Mhm.
at yourself. And I was carving eyebrows.
Yeah.
And when I carve eyebrows, I always carve them like this.
Yep.
And then I
Yep.
looked in the mirror and I said, well, I'm actually doing it the opposite of how like my eyebrows are long along this way.
Mhm.
They're not
Yeah.
going like this, right?
Right. Right.
So that's a little trick, I guess, to just look at yourself because
Yeah.
since I started carving all my eyebrows, and they to some extent they probably still will because it gives the best punch.
Yep.
But all my eyebrows were carved up like that. And whereas in reality, at least in my case, they kind of go down like this.
Yep. I will never forget the day that this man came up to me. I won't name him, but he since passed. An amazing, amazing bird carver, duck carver. And he said, "Young man, on this carving, you can see." I had held it up for him because I was showing the group. They wanted to see what I was working on. You can see a distinct line here that goes underneath the eye bag that's not on this side. Oh, and he's
Wow.
that's a loud one. And he said, on the human face, there has to be symmetry. What you do on one side is on the other side. And the entire time he talked, all I could see was the defined mid face groove that went from the corner of his tear duct down into the hollow of his cheek that didn't even exist on this side of his face. He didn't have a mid face groove on the left side of his face, but he did on the right. And
Okay.
I remember staring at that, and that was the only lesson I ever needed about proportions. And that was look at your reference photos. Your
Yep.
reference photos will tell you everything you need to know.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. Again, that said, I'm on Pinterest. I was looking at old man faces, and I always give the crow's feet over here,
Mm-hmm.
but I never put wrinkles like this way.
Right.
But
Right.
old guys, and I guess I'm not that old yet, but have really distinct wrinkles down this way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is.
So anyway, all that to say is you started with the hair, and I was just shocked with the eyebrows. Like total opposite. Never ever thought about it.
Right.
So
Yeah. The reference photos are, and it's the problem is it's too easy. It's way too easy for most people that you tell them, "Oh, the answer is right in front of you. It's the mirror. If you look back at yourself in the mirror, all the answers are right there
yep,
to where the eyes are and how they're spaced away from the nose within reason to compare to other people, right? Everyone's got their own set of rules or features, but all the answers that you need immediately are right there,
yep,
right in front of you.
yep.
So,
And everybody's definitely not the same.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
One that really blew me away one time. I'll never forget her face. Was it? There's a show on, I forget where it was, but I think the Peaky Blinders,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this girl who was married to one of the brothers or whatever, and she had the largest eyes I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you carved her, it'd be like some toy.
Yep.
Her eyes were so big. It's like anyway, there isn't a rule that fits everything.
Okay, so if we're gonna go down this nerd territory,
Yeah,
let's
let's
go,
go.
let's just go down it if we're gonna go down it, right?
Okay.
Let's not tease everyone. So I was under the impression for many years through the great work of a couple of authors who were kind of pioneers and uh, the benchmark for proportions in the human face and wood carving specifically. And what they talk about is the method of dividing the face essentially into quarters, right? You take the face, you cut it in half, you get the center line, you cut it in half again, you get the nose, and you get the mouth, dividing that into thirds. Okay, this is the basic rule. What I did not realize, however, is that the reality is on most male faces, the nose, the jaw and nose are generally longer than that accommodates for. So, what I would say as a kind of addition to this understanding of quarters is if you can use the real old fashioned rule of drawing proportions in the face from the turn of the forehead. I don't like using hairline because look at the difference.
Yeah.
For real, from person to person, it varies so much. It has nothing to do with age. Everyone's hairline is different. So what I like to delineate is the turn of the forehead, where the forehead starts to dramatically turn. So on me, it's right about here. From here, should line up with the brow ridge to the nose. And look at that, it does.
Yeah.
And from the brow ridge, the nose down to the chin, perfectly lines up, right?
Yep.
So that gives me that extended jaw or mandible that the male face has, a very important distinguishing feature.
So now your center, if you put a center line in, then that's
still gives you your eyes for the most part. Yep.
the bottom of the eye.
Yep. On females, it's closer to bisecting the eye, but across the board, for the most part, on males, it's that lower lid coming across.
I wanted to bring you guys.
The eyeball.
Hello.
Those are, yeah, there you go.
See?
Yeah, look at that jaw. Look at the difference in the length and the width of the jaw.
The width, especially. This is one of the biggest points for a woman is look at the point of that jaw.
Yep.
You can't help but make a woman if you give them that jaw.
Yep.
Compared to the dude jaw here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all that weight down here.
I mean, look at the forehead. The man, look how flat a woman's forehead is.
Yep.
Compared to the man. So anyway, these are like Hobby Lobby $6 references, and they're fantastic.
Love that. I love that. I need to get those as teaching tools because it's nice to have two heads just sitting right next to each other of the same size.
Draw on them and do whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
You can put mustaches or.
Yep. Vic Hood used to have one of those.
Did he?
Two of them, the male and the female, to show you kind of the differences. And I learned a lot. Credit where credit's due from sitting in a Vic Hood class back when Bridges, the online school of wood carving, we were working on that where we had different instructors, and I learned so much from just sitting down and taking notes. So that's what we've been working on for the school. Did a carving drop. And when we talked last, I hadn't yet posted them. And I thought that I needed just about 3 hours or so to get all the carvings up. But I ended up spending the better part of the day posting up all the carvings. And so the carvings went up sometime around 3 p.m. instead of noon.
Yeah.
But they got up there, and I think that threw off the momentum, but it still worked out well. I sold quite a bit. Sold 7 of 12 carvings. In the first.
Was there 12 or 10?
There were 12.
Was there 12 total? Yeah, yep. I was very happy for you. That was I don't think you could ask for much better than that. Well, you could, but I mean that's pretty good. Yeah,
I was super happy with it. Super duper happy with it, and I think we'll continue to do that so long as people are interested and they want carvings, which there's been a lot of interest. So Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
what's
that's great. And like you said, dumping them all one day instead of just one at a time
Mhm.
is, I think it's great.
Yep. And those will go out if any of you have purchased a carving. Those are going to go out this coming Friday. So look forward to that, seeing that. And yes.
Can I
So
ask you a question about that?
yeah,
When you sell something, do you normally include shipping or shipping on top of?
I always include shipping. Yep.
You always include shipping. So this is my conundrum from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I remember I shipped one carving and it cost me almost $50 to
Oof.
mail it to the States.
Wow.
So that's a lot to eat and it's a lot to ask. So there's got to be a happy
Crazy.
medium.
Why is shipping so expensive there?
I don't know.
Wow.
Now, mind you, it'd probably be more for you to ship to Canada too when you
Right.
start crossing borders, but not
That's
that
true.
extent. But our postage has always been a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, and really your dollar's worth less. So that's more
well,
like
that's true too. That's fair.
30,
Yeah,
$30 or $35. So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that was great. Very happy with that. Very, very grateful to those who came up and supported, and look forward to sending those out because I like the way those carvings turned out too. So
And for anyone who goes to check out the remaining ones, folks, that
Mhm.
gold faced woman and the gold faced man look awesome in
Yeah.
person. They're so cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm
I
surprised I haven't gone. If anyone wants it, it's up.
I'd gobble them up first.
Yeah, that's 24 karat gold leaf on it. So
It makes me want to gold leaf something. I don't know what I would do, but
yeah, I
I've
can't
never
wait.
done it before. But it looks so much fun.
Oh, it is. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. Yeah, and I can't wait to sell them. I can't wait to make new ones to replace them because it's kind of a neat process to see them. They almost come to life in a different way when you put that gold. They really pop. So
so where did you get that? Just from like older statues and whatnot? Is that where you got the idea?
well, yeah, there's a process of finishing carvings whereby you apply a gold leaf and then on top of that a neutral color, a reddish hue or a white hue, and it's a layering process. Then you add a purple, around veining, stuff like that. And the idea is once you've done that, you add your flesh tone on top of it, and all of those warm colors, the purples and the veins, all those colors, the warmth of the gold comes through the paint. It's like an underpaint in a
Like
painting.
underpaint with a reflection,
Yeah,
kind of like a light bounce. Like
yeah. And the idea is it would make the skin appear lifelike. And you look at some of these, carvings from the Middle Ages, and it's amazing how realistic, how skin like the finish is, and it's this layering that they did.
yeah, no, it's cool. But I've also seen like in old churches and stuff too. You just know everything's just. I don't know if that's gold plated or gold leaf.
A lot of it's gold leaf. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Alexander Grubovetsky is working on a massive gold leaf. I think it's a lion or a tiger head, a big cat, huge. I mean, just unbelievably huge. And so it's cool to see that. So that's been what I'm working on: carving drop, lotus flower, deer head, all that stuff. It's been good.
Yeah, no, I actually forgot about that. That was a big deal.
Yeah,
It was funny because I went to your site at noon just to see
hmm
and refresh
yeah.
for
Only one at that
for my
point.
whole lunch hour. And there
Yeah.
was one up by the end of my lunch.
Yep.
And uh, anyway,
Yeah.
no, right?
Was it? Yeah. Yeah. I think the first one was up just after noon.
Yeah.
And so I kept having people because I was frantically posting these, and there were people that were on there snatching them up as I was posting them. And there was a couple folks who were just looking out for me. I had made put them up for $0 on accident. One of them, and they were like, "Hey, bud, I don't think you want to sell." And one person bought one as a joke, and they said, "Just kidding," But,
Oh,
but yeah. So, but it worked out really well. So topic. Do we? I mean, geez, we're already most of
oh,
the
I
way
think
through.
I think yeah, I think our topic is head sizing.
Yeah, proportions. That's a good topic as any. Get your head on straight. That's what we'll call this.
Yeah. We always talk about the 5-eye rule.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally saw a diagram that did it right, with the 5 eyes being to the outside of the ears.
Yep.
That's the first time I ever saw a diagram showing that.
Mm-hmm.
They always say your head is 5 eyes wide, but they never say to the edge of your ears. You know?
Yeah. Football head, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know,
for anyone who really wants to nerd out, is it the most simplest of books? I can grab it, actually.
Yeah, do it.
I don't hear you talking.
No, that's because I'm not.
Oh, well. You're supposed to fill space with your chatter.
You did that for me.
This is one of the most basic of books.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably one of my biggest helpers ever.
Yep.
And even
Yep.
like it's like a high school project.
Yep.
Like,
perfect.
it's just so simple.
Move it over that way. There you go. Yep. There you go. Yep.
Just simple pictures.
Love that.
Nothing difficult. Like, look at that. That's 2 pages.
Perfect.
But it's so basic, but it's so good. So anyway, for anyone interested, Head Proportions Made Simple by Ivan Willock.
Super good. That's a super good book. I recommend that one. Yep. And there are so many good drawing guides on YouTube, guides for drawing, that all of those principles apply to carving in terms of the symmetry.
Yeah, like this has, he never even considered wood carving.
Right.
I think this is for painting or whatever, right?
So. Yeah, who knows? I mean, Willock was a carver, so he probably intended that.
Oh, he was a carver. Okay, I don't know.
But yeah, he his son is actually the guy who would supply carving tools to me back when I sold those. So I shouldn't say that, because now people are going to bug me about carving tools again.
Yeah, how can we get some of your carving tools?
Shush. Moving on. That's a mailbag. Mailbag. Do I have to play guitar, or do we still do that?
Yeah, I think you should. Mailbag. Very light. If you want your questions answered, email us some questions or topic ideas to coffeeandcarvingshow@gmail.com.
That's right.
Now, Nadia, that's a fun name, eh? Nadia.
Yeah, it is. Is it a Russian name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm saying Nadia. It could be Nadia. I don't know, but I like Nadia. So from now on, if it's not, your name is Nadia.
There you go.
But she's got a couple questions, and she wants to know, Alec, I don't know, maybe you can choose not to answer this if you don't want to. Alec, what did you do to get your account on TikTok banned? I
did.
Went to check.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, she just said, I recently went to check your page and was flabbergasted. I don't know. Did you get banned?
Yeah, that freaked me out, right? Because I saw that comment, and I went on my TikTok, and I don't know what she's talking about. TikTok's doing great. TikTok's doing great. Not banned.
Okay.
So maybe she's got the wrong account.
Okay.
Yep. So research me up there, Nadia. Go back on TikTok and search me up. I did delete an old account, so you might have found the old account. So go back to the new one.
That could be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she has another part to her question, and this is we could go off on this question as well. My restless ADHD brain constantly jumps from one project to another. I have so many ideas in my head, and I always want to do them all at once. Mm-hmm. Do you have the same problem? How do you deal with this?
I have a good answer for this.
Oh, do share. Because I have an answer myself.
All right, so this is where we're at. I'm planned out until 2 days from now, right, for a project. But let me show you this. This stays on my desk, and it's a whiteboard calendar. Okay, so just keep it on my desk there. Here's the best part of this, right? It's got small squares on it, and you might say to yourself, that's not enough space to write stuff on. I need more space than that. I need a full planner. Can't put all the things. You're not supposed to have that many things to do in one day. You're not. You should only have a few major things that you're doing every day. Otherwise, you're not getting anything done. Number one, you're torn between 5 or 7 different things that you're never going to finish in a day, and you feel disappointed. Or you stick to one, you hyper focus on it, and then you feel like 6 of the things that you didn't, of the list aren't done. So that is great because it forces you to condense. What are the main 4 things I need to get done today? Whatever that is. It's helped me a lot. And the biggest key to this, which has been for me, to write it in advance. Write out your week in advance. Plan it out. This is definitely more for you who are, trying to organize your project life a little bit more. So say you have a carving that you want to get done, right? And it's a hobby project. You can even schedule to that. You can say, I want to have this thing done. Who cares? 2 months. Doesn't matter how long. Plan it out. I'm going to work on it. I have a free day on Friday night. I'm going to schedule it in. I'm not hanging out with my friends. My aunt's not going to come over. My sister, my brother's not going to come over. I'm going to work on that carving because I want time for me. I want time to make stuff. So put it in your calendar like you would any other appointment. That's my advice.
Well, I'm starting a coughing fit, but well, that's your advice. But before we go to my advice, can you say calendar again?
Calendar.
Calendar?
Calendar.
Is it calendar?
Calendar.
Calendar. Calendar.
America. Michigan.
So on my calendar, I cannot keep a calendar. My brain, if I have a calendar, I am not happy. Even if I'm looking forward to doing something, all I want to do is check it off the calendar. I keep no calendar of any kind, and I make no plans, solid plans within 10 days. So my advice is do everything. Because we're not full-time wood carvers, so it doesn't matter. And maybe, I don't believe Nadia probably is. Maybe she is, but
I am. I am a full-time wood carver.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So you said we are structured to make money.
Oh, just so people know. Yep.
In my world, in the last week, I have done spool carving, bark carving, material collecting, shop organization, everything, and
all of it.
I go down. I come here to do one thing in particular, and all of a sudden I'm sorting out something else, and at the end of the day, I'm still happy.
Yeah. I'll add all the stuff that I did in addition to the things I wanted to do to the list on the calendar just to make myself feel good. That's how much I like that thing. I'll go back and I'll say organize shop, and I'll add it in on Friday.
But what I have done to myself is that I've condensed my world to the wood carving. I'm not looking to make videos on camping trips. I'm not looking to make videos on bushcraft. Like I'm staying in our little mantra that we said last week too. What was it? Marry the genre, vary the content. So I'm staying in the wood carving world, but I'm just dabbling all over the place. And I felt, my wife teases me all the time because I got into that 1x1 series. As soon as the interest was kind of fading a little bit, I was like, oh, good. I want to do something else. Because Sophie always tells me, no, you can't stay in a box. I just can't stay in a box. So now, what did I do? I did a silent carving, some squash heads a couple weeks ago, back to the 1x1 series, to the spool carving. I'll probably do a bark carving, and then just keep it going, but staying in the wood carving world. And that's how I have to be happy. Well, I don't want to grow to resent something.
Let me offer you this. You have scheduling in your life. You have a work schedule. You have a life, a structure with which you have to work within.
Right. Exactly.
My structure, my life all of my work, it's self-imposed structure.
Yeah.
So if I operated like you do with carving, I would be chaotic, even more than I am now, right? I'd be waking up at 4 p.m. I'd be working until 3 a.m. And then I'd be, who knows what I'd be doing? I don't know. Be running
Watching
around.
cartoons in your pajamas all day.
Cartoons in my pajamas. Yeah, exactly. It would not work. I have to apply a structure to it to some degree. But I don't know that, for people where they're just doing it as a hobby, my suggestion, if this is where I differ from you. I think that people, they don't relax because they don't even schedule their relax time. You'll never get around to relaxing if you're like me, at least. If you're somebody who's always filling your calendar with things, oh, we got to do this on Friday. We got to come home and we got to clean up the house because we didn't get to do it last week because all we were doing was running around and going here and going there and doing this and doing that. Just having some scheduled time, like, okay, Sunday evenings, we clean the house. I'm not saying we're doing this properly, but having a little bit of a calendar time for your hobbies, for those of you who are busier, it's good. Yeah. If you're retired and you have all the time in the world, or you're a real internally mentally organized person, like someone like Doug, you can do that. Most people aren't like you, I don't think.
Well, anyway, yeah. There's two opposing views.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Any other comments, questions on there?
No.
That was a good one, though.
Yep.
That kept us going.
Peter, I believe we answered one of Peter's questions last week about the tiny strops, the little flex cut, little micro tools, keeping them sharp. But he has another question here. All he wants me to show my contoured wheel that I have for the interior strapping. So we'll take you for a little walk over here. And I did not make it. People always think that I turned it. I did not turn it. I actually bought this at Chipping Away. I don't know how to turn my camera around.
Neither.
Oh boy.
Huh. Is there a little camera with a couple arrows on the bottom, down on the bottom right? You tap the screen?
If there was one, I would certainly know how to do that. So I'm just going to turn you around this way. So this is a maple wheel, all right, with the motor. Mm-hmm. I believe Chipping Away, if you want, because I believe he has a threaded rod, I believe you can buy just the wheel if you want to buy the wheel. And that has all the contours. So that's what I use in the shop here. And like I said, the little block strops, that's mostly for my travel kit. So
okay,
all right. You want to get the next question there?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Oh, you tell me. I don't have it open.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Here's a name I might say wrong. Dalian wants to know, where do you get your cottonwood bark from, and what is a reasonable price to pay?
I'm going to make a video on this. I'm going to make a video on this only because my brother and I were talking about it today. It's probably you too, one of the most asked questions.
Yep.
On this podcast, on our videos, whenever we carve and bark, on the shorts that I do, as far as wood carving related questions, not, how did you learn to do this? Wood carving related questions, it's like detailed ones. It's that. So I'm going to make a video on it. But I want to do some research first because I don't have a big list, do you, of people to look out for who are selling bark?
No, I only had one supplier, and I remember the one time I said the name, they were sold out immediately, and then it was such a hit and miss that I won't even say it out loud because they've been closed. They're closed for 3 or 4 months at a time, and then they open up, and it's like bye, and then it's all gone. So
I put my guy into retirement from telling people. Back when I was teaching, he was getting so many referrals from people in my classes and online and all this stuff that he decided that he was just going to retire. He was done.
But I will tell you how I do buy it, though. And I buy a box. You know what? I might as well say the name. It's from BC, and this is how I buy it. It's cottonwoodbark.com.
Yeah, I've gone to them. They're good. Really.
And so hopefully they're open for you.
Yep.
But I buy a box that big at a time. All right.
There is a difference though between that northwestern cottonwood bark
100%.
and what they call, Doug Evans was talking about how they call it Montana Gold.
Yeah.
Montana Gold is crispier. It's a little bit nicer to work with. It finishes a little better. And that's the stuff that I'm carving with here. See that color compared to Doug's piece? Look at that centerpiece, how dark it is. And show yours again, Doug.
Oh, I can show a carving right here.
Just show the bark. No, that's been stained, hasn't it?
No, it's not stained at all.
Okay, there's a great example.
That's not a good representation because, yeah. Anyway, all my bark is dark.
Yep. And this is the color. This is the color that we're getting from the Montana Gold.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious of your bark there.
This is how light ours is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so much nicer to work with. Depending on the project, of course. I'm happy with the bark I have. It'd be nice to have a mix or variety for special.
Yep.
But I would love nothing better than to go out bark picking. But for me to go anywhere to bark pick, I could buy 10 boxes.
Oh yeah.
Of bark just for the cost.
You do it for yep. I get it. Yeah, I'm kind of back to trying to find people. You know, even the guy who I put in retirement has been helping me out. He's trying to empty his tents and his storage containers, and I've bought a few boxes from him in the last couple years. But again, he's done. He's done. So, yeah. Well, that's it then, huh?
That's it. But Peter has another comment here, and he wants to know, when do we broadcast the show? Because he'd like to see it live. This is not a live show. This is a recorded show. We usually record the show earlier in the week to release it on Friday. So this show is never live.
Nope.
So that's it. That's the mailbag.
Bravo. Okay.
I'm excited for the media. You better bring that in. Bring us in.
Media. Yeah.
Media time, guys.
I guess if we have to.
Yeah.
Brought to you by me, Eeyore. Not much of it. What is he, a donkey? What is he? Not much of a horse.
Yeah. Oh, bother. Media, what have you been watching, listening to, reading?
All right, so I have a hyperfixation, right, issue. It's part of the problem that I have with my brain. I think the aliens, when they abducted me, I came back with this thing. So, where I can't get off of something.
But they got the probe out, right?
I don't know. I'm not even sure, to be honest. It could be in there. I don't even know. I have had some digestive issues. Anyway, The point is, I was going through a huge phase of obsession with the Jack Kruse thing, the Andrew Huberman thing, the Peter Attia thing, all the big names in the health podcast world. Right? So these are guys who are talking about optimizing your life, daily routines for health, literally changed my day-to-day life. Every single day I get some form of exercise, and it's all scheduled out. So 3 days a week, except for Sundays, right? So 6 days a week. I'm going for a walk on Monday. I'm going to the gym on Tuesday morning, and then rinse and repeat, where I'm going for a walk one day, just 3 miles or less, sometimes a mile and a half. walking at a fast pace. Call it zone 2 heart rate. That's where your heart rate, Peter Attia describes it as where you can talk or communicate while you're exercising, but it's not comfortable. Like you're not enjoying talking at that pace of walking. It's fast. And just working on my health, sauna, exercise, and it's I know it's all the rage, but I have had health problems in the last 3 years that have gotten substantially better from just trying to eat a little better. I don't I talk about taking your vitamins. There's a reason I wanted to be a nutritionist when I was a kid. That was my passion, was health and nutrition, and and then I learned one day that most of the vitamins you're getting at the store are not what you call bioavailable. You're not even absorbing them, right? And so this whole rabbit trail. What are the foods to eat that are healthy? What exercise, all this stuff, just basic self consideration for your health and exercise, right? And I've come off of that though. I've come off of that big podcast run. It's still changed my life. I'm still consistent with the exercise and the supplements, which, by the way, when I say take your vitamins, usually what that looks like for me, fish oil. You can tell a fresh fish oil by when you take it. It just tastes clean. It tastes healthy. It doesn't taste fishy and gross. People that have bad experiences with fish oil, it's because they've had rancid fish oil. Oh, there's nothing worse.
Old cod liver oil.
Oh, it's gag worthy. I take creatine, which not only, it was controversial 15 or 20 years ago, but your body produces it naturally. Basically everyone that is in the world of health right now, there's almost zero controversy about the fact that it helps your cells produce energy. So your brain cells, your muscle cells, it's an integral part of your cells producing energy, or ATP.
I was under the impression that was a water retainer to bulk up.
Right. Well, the part of the side effect of it is that it gives you it gives your cells, causes them to retain more water. Yep. So you will gain weight, but and muscle and water, but it's very, very healthy. It's very good for your muscles. If you have gone on creatine and worked out, you'll notice that you'll have more energy. You'll feel better in the gym. Even if you're not working out, older people, men 60 plus, should be taking creatine regularly. I would suggest that they take creatine, but the thing is 1 in 4 people are non-responders to it. So you might not necessarily have the response that some people get, the increased muscle mass, the retention of water, all those positive benefits. But no, it's people take it as a neurotropic, as a brain health supplement now. It's not just something that these bodybuilders they'll load up. They'll do what they call loading phases, which are not beneficial. Loading phases do not prove to have any benefit more than just a small dosage a day has. So I do that. I do the fish oil, and then occasionally I'll take a supplement that's L-carnitine, which is very has a lot to do with cell production, energy cell production. But so for me, it switched. It went from the health world, in the books on health and all this stuff, to now I'm kind of in this in between space where I'm back to just lighthearted stuff, comedy, and just enjoying back to some of the more entertaining things, and then just a touch of philosophy, like the Stoics, philosophy of the Stoics. Been back into that, so
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I do none of that.
Yeah. Wait.
I've never eaten. I don't know if I've ever ate a vitamin in my life, but
good for you. Not vitamins are.
I'm sure I'm probably lacking somewhere, but
unless you get a good whole food based vitamin, it's not worth it.
I just raised on meat and vegetables and potatoes. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And hard work, no exercise. But I played pickleball now, right?
Yeah,
that's my new thing. But anyway,
you did karate, didn't you? You did exercise. Did you not?
Not now.
Right.
Yeah, I don't exercise. I just work. So
yeah.
I don't think I do. But anyway, I said I don't think I need to exercise I'm very active at work.
Yeah, right. No, a lot of people that have physical jobs, like my brother and you. My brother's a mechanic. You work with your hands, maintenance, and all of it. It's like those people. You guys burn more calories than I do at the
Yeah,
gym. That's
yeah. I never worry about it. I never sit down all day till I get
yeah.
here. But anyway, my big fun, and this is our buddy Mark is going to love this because I went on a tangent of watching living in narrow boats in the UK. It is so fun. This narrow boat living, and I believe our buddy Mark on the podcast listener, he
Yeah.
lives in a narrow boat.
Yep.
And I watched 3 different exploring alternatives. Have a bunch of them. I wrote them down. Downey Live Canadian rented a narrow boat, and they have over 2,000 miles of canals. They pay a yearly fee. They can park those boats anywhere they please. Included in that fee is garbage dumping and water filling. It's just gorgeous countryside, usually with the sheep in the hills around you, and just cool boats. It's like way funner than tiny houses. I was ready to sell my house and go buy a tiny, or not tiny, go buy a longboat. They're just amazing. So fun. So fun. They have bridges of water to keep the canals going. So there's these big, long bridges, not talking about locks. They have different locks to raise the boats up higher and lower, but they actually have these over roadways and things, bridges full of water, so the boats can just go across. The weirdest looking thing you ever saw.
Yeah, I can't even picture that.
Yeah, it's just a bridge full of water.
Really cool.
And cars drive underneath.
So cool.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I was like so into it. I was like, I love this idea. Right. So I'm coveting Mark's life right now.
There you go.
That was my whole tangent. Those two, Downey Live and Exploring Alternatives on YouTube, they both have some fantastic videos on living in the narrow boats and the canals in the UK. So there you go.
Take your food-based vitamins, folks.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you next week.
Bye.